They actually have to prepare and spend a lot of time practicing together to fully flesh out a map pool for themselves. But I do think there's a lot of potential for the team. So looking like an exciting matchup here. Great way to finish this series off. And off the pistol already getting aggressive. What? Turbo already just blitzing all of MiBR. James, please explain.
He is just a king of deletions, isn't he, it seems. A young king at that. 4 versus 2 for complexity on the CT side. The bomb is being planted. CT's been taken. But Fallen's alone. There's a quiet flank coming in. A free kill for Def, just about. 1 versus 4 for Taco. Trying to get a 1v1s, but he will not be able to win any of them. And that is quite the pistol round. Lots of shouting already. And complexity will be taking the first round. Personally, I have to favor MiBR. For me, they're a heavy favorite on Mirage. At least that's based on what we've seen, but maybe we'll see a completely different complexity. I think even with a lack of Stanislaw, from what we saw from Warden, from what we heard from Warden earlier, it seems that there will still be some framework if Def was vocal before Stanislaw left the team. So it won't be such a hard transition necessarily in that case versus just a completely new in-game leader who wasn't saying anything at all. As we've seen with many teams, there can be a lot of mid-round calling or contributions from different players other than the in-game leader. So that will certainly help. But, I mean, for me, I have to favor MiBR on Mirage. But we'll see if complexity can continue to surprise us.
This buy is actually kind of scary. I don't know how Colzer has managed to afford a Krieg and full Kevlar and helmet. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. AK out, Galil out. Looks like a really strong round as far as the firepower is concerned. The utility obviously will be what is lacking. And I guess Fur must have dropped.
Yeah, he must have dropped and been given a deagle by someone else.
Yeah.
Phelps' timing just about missed. The CT's rotating. Ricky pretty low. He's rung the bell of Phelps. He knows that. Phelps trying to jump onto short. He will hit the ceiling of the window and fail that. There are some chances, though, for MiBR to do something. There are 2 players who are vulnerable to even a leg shot from the Desert Eagle, so this could quickly turn around.
There you go, that Krieg, the scope, really panning out. Superior firepower is doing the damage. Shazam and Def here ready to try to save this one, or maybe they'll be thinking about saving. It's hard to say at this point. If Shazam can get a quick 1-2, obviously there's a strong argument to try to go for some damage, but it's just not looking likely. Already MiBR has shut down all the irrelevant choke points, so save is their hand is forced effectively. So this force buy has worked out really well for MiBR. I do think that the force buys on both sides are really strong, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's something we see with a greater degree of consistency. I was very surprised in the NIP games to see that they just didn't force buy at all, especially because they lost every single pistol. I think it's a pretty solid move, especially when you get that bomb down. Look at this. They're going to survive with 4 players. Picked up an AUG on Fur as well for their troubles.
It's a very big turnaround from MiBR. Lots of action from that connector position from the T's. So again, not a favourable start for complexity, especially on the CT side. But they can buy around what they were able to save, or try to. There's not really so much to buy with. So this situation absolutely sucks for complexity. They've got the AUG and some pots and pans, basically. But it's not quite PUBG. See what MiBR can do if they can capitalize on this advantage. They've got the flashbangs up towards top mid. There are some grenades from the CTs as well. Fallen blind in a Molotov. There will be a smoke though down the man a little bit. Def going beyond the angle, and Fur will take advantage of that with the AUG. Shazam will try to make a difference. A tight angle being held by Fur. He's expectant, and he will deliver a second kill. That's a big weapon taken away, leaving 2 deagles and a scout for complexity.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter how much damage you do if the players stay alive. And keeping those numbers together at this point on the T side is going to be really beneficial. Just trading into a bomb site, you can see they'll begin to converge towards the A ramp together with the bomb. And looking good to finish off the rounds. Yeah, only really an oboe to stop things. He's on default at this point. Now, you can actually get a surprising amount of value from the deagle in and around those bomb boxes if you pick good timings. If you wait for the T's to be running into position, away from Tetris, maybe towards the site, and then that's when you get your peek in. Like now, can't land the connections though. There's one. Although there's Phelps in connector to finish things off. So, oh, look how tagged up these players are. The scout is effectively an AWP, but there's no way for Ricky to know. And he'll run away.
Try and hold on to what he has. It is eco territory for Complexity in the next round. So their best positions and opportunities have come and gone in this round, so they may as well try to hold on to these and start again in the next one. If they can pick off a weapon and collect it while they have numbers, then maybe something can be done. Vertigo, not the result they were expecting, but if you don't play it, you won't improve on it. Curious to see if there'll be more changes. Again, they'll need more evidence, the developers, in order to look at updating the map should they feel it be required. So we'll see how Vertigo will grow and how long it will stay in a map pool for. Again, the shadow of Cash is looming, but there's no guarantee as far as anyone in public is concerned as if it goes straight back into the map pool or what happens. But it is Mirage for the time being, anti-eco territory for MiBR. I know there's a few bits and bobs to try and avoid. So we can focus on how they approach an anti-eco situation with a few dregs, a few weapons here and there. Standard stuff. Smoke towards the catwalk. We've got a Molotov to stop angles being held by the CTs while they take position, the T side, top mid. 2 players towards A early would suggest ultimately a play towards A, even with the bomb in mid and a lurker towards B. They will have initial map control to keep the CTs honest, to try and stop any pushes anywhere, any dodgy flanks or anything like that. So that would be part of why on this particular run there are 2 people towards A. So in a buy versus buy, if you start with 2 towards A, often that is an indicator of the ultimate plan. But here, I think, at least for the start, they're trying to just keep the CTs honest.
So Obo's gone for the taser, and he's under the window, and the bomb's going towards B as well. There is a world where this works out for Complexity. And there's 3 players here as well. Shazam and Sick are arriving towards B as well. So they have everybody here. Bomb will now make its rotation back. But if he survives for much longer, things will get a bit annoying, but they will finish him off, and Fallen will rotate through. But I would imagine that they realize this Complexity, but they'll be locked out by grenades, or at least by the smokes on jungle and also CT. But we're still looking to get some value from that taser, but at this point, it's not looking like there's going to be too many options for it. Indeed, Phelps will take his head off.
I feel like at this point, you're wanting to try and save the second rifle in that short position. Well, there's a different way to do it. Kevlar and one of the players, the guy with Kevlar's 25 HP, I think they've got everything that they're going to get from this round. Now, I think Shazam may have been heard by Fallen in T-spawn, so that's 1 rifle taken away. Sick scoped in. Now, in this situation, if you wanted to unscope, I think you'd be better off pressing Q twice as opposed to unscoping and giving a sound cue away to somebody who could be close, because that would make it harder for him to save. So you can just hide behind the TV. Can't find a signal. Might need an aerial, but there's no Ents here today.
Alright, so the buy's back in. AWP onto Shazam. Shazam bought helmets, and now he doesn't have a smoke. How dare you, Shazam? How dare you? Oh well. So here we go. We'll start to see perhaps a change of pace. Complexity will have way more to work with than they have in any round before this one. But putting some pressure in from the window. Getting smoked off as is the standard. Lots of smokes down on catwalk already, actually. All this harassment over coming back behind the smoke in the window. Perhaps there's some flash plays to unlock some aggression from him later on towards middle. As MiBR go for a mid-take. This is a default. They had earlier fallen towards the B apartments. Obo ready for that one. No boost for you. Smoke wall. Oh no, it didn't extinguish the flames. And that's Obo dead.
Sick in a very unorthodox position. 1 minute on the clock, plenty of time for MiBR. Moving through mid with 3 people. Fallen looking towards Tollbooth, I would presume. And now asking questions of the B bomb site. Where will they choose to go? Lurker towards A. Going back there, it seems. Maybe to offer some grenades or maybe to make a play. Fallen gets taken out. That's the bomb spotted as well. In a very horrible position. Looking at the time on the clock, that bomb needs to be retrieved. That has put MiBR in a very, very awkward position. Playing the clock slow. Shazam's being taken out eventually by coldzera. Surely they're committed to a B play. Ricky's been at bench this entire time, just waiting. 20 seconds. Def waiting in the window. Seems some indecision. Ricky moving forward now to the pillar. He's been heard by coldzera, and now there's surely got to be a mistake. Charging towards the bomb. Def has got to cover if there's a rotation. They may have just given the round up.
Ouch. Oh man, that sucks.
They had such good positions.
That's the thing, though. You got to know, and the information. You know, we don't know exactly how the information was being communicated, or what information was necessarily missing for complexity.
I'll tell you what the information was. Fallen was carrying the bomb on short, and he got picked off. Def is in the window. They have to go through connector to plant the bomb on A. That's the information. I don't know what the hell just happened there. Charging towards short with the time on the clock. He was in bench forever in that round. I don't understand.
That's definitely a problem. But there's still plenty of time for recovery for complexity. Maybe smoke on connector just to make things a bit more awkward here. But it's much easier for the T's to play around these smokes. From the sense that they have these rifles, they can spray these positions, they can wait it out, they've got utility, they can... Oh my god, that HE just did colossal damage. And there's the flashbang. Molotovs. And, well, Sick is having a happy time with that Deagle, so he's collected an AK-47. And now MiBR move towards the B-bomb side. There is absolutely work to be done with that AK, especially given the fact that Sick will make it to the bomb site first. But MiBR moved towards middle again, so... They've kind of forced Sick to go towards B, and now they've isolated Def, who's got the weaker weapon. MiBR have played this perfectly.
33 seconds remain. MiBR no strangers to a slow round. Falling. Oh, look at the timing. Look at the timing of that. That is just, it's just unfair, isn't it? Even if he doesn't get the kill, it's just annoying. Sick forced to save. It's been a rough start to Mirage for complexity. MiBR looking to move to round number 5. Sick, I'm sure, looking to hide in plain sight at this point. But this has not been the greatest of starts. They won the pistol, then disaster struck immediately, and it's been all MiBR. Complexity moving towards maximum loss bonus. They'll have a good buy in the next round. They need to have a good start for a good recovery.
Another round won by detonation. That's the 4th now. So MiBR getting the maximum amount of money from these wins, pretty much. You get 3,500 from winning via destination or defuse, and 3,250 for elimination. So extra $250 goes a long way. Anyway, double ops coming out for complexity. So this is the ultimate buy, perhaps, from them. But will it have any better results? So far, it feels like MiBR found a good groove.
Plenty of lineups on your box to learn. That is a Krieg in the face, and it doesn't feel nice. It kind of hurts. Def trapped by the van. He's going to be very exposed to be jumped up, but he manages to survive and win the duel somehow. That was very, very key, because you can see MiBR were moving in to capitalize on his untimely death. Not the case, however. 4 versus 4, plenty of time on the clock, and MiBR have got such good positioning. Surely Sick is going to be spotted soon. Starting to move, but again, the timing, this time it works out in favor of complexity. Sick maybe saving a teammate or two, with Phelps moving forward, and he will quietly reposition. Doesn't know the status of Palace, doesn't want to give any free information away.
First found himself onto position, though, towards jungle. Looking for that player that was under the balcony. But Sick has moved to fireboxes, I believe. Obo with a deep angle from Catwalk. So this is a good setup, although Fallen will dismantle both Obo and Shazam, leaving Sick in the firebox position, and Taco has a great peek. MiBR have completely crushed this. Great round from them. Really, really nice stuff.
Dominating game of Mirage so far for MiBR. Dominating. Shazam and Sick may have some extra money to buy a little something, but this has been very, very difficult for Complexity. I expected a strong performance from MiBR. We've seen that so far, but there is indeed still time for Complexity to turn things around and have a fair CT half, but it has to come soon.
Yeah, and there's been a couple missed opportunities, and against some of the best teams in the world, you don't sometimes get many opportunities. You have to make it count when you get it. So tactical timeouts to figure out what's going wrong. What can we do? Get everybody onto the same page. Important tournament for Complexity. They played really well to qualify, actually. They provided an extremely entertaining series in the online season to make the qualification a reality. I think it was against Rogue, actually, but enough about that. Quick headshot from Obo will take down Cold, so it's an even trade towards Pit, an upgrade as well available soon enough, perhaps. Although Obo's not going for it just yet. MiBR looking to walk into the B-bomb site, and that is not a bad move because Sony Sick here does get a tag on the Fallen, but it's just a scout. How much can he really do?
Not much with Fallen holding angles. 3 pistols remain for Complexity. They don't have position. Even in this situation, Fur is flanking around that connector area, looking to cut off these players, make some bonus money. There is a HE zooming in, and there he goes. Stereo frags for MiBR, and Obo is the last man standing, looking to pick up an AK-47. We'll see if he's able to save it. We've got Phelps in the crawl space, moving into the window. Obo will quietly move into a different position. 7-1 for MiBR. Can this train be stopped? I'm not quite sure that it can.
No, it's looking really, really good now. And this is one of the problems as well for Complexity. Again, when you're hitting hard chips, when things are not going your way, being able to fall back onto some kind of a structure, some kind of a game plan which you've already established, that is something that can really anchor you and be sort of your rock in times of hardship like this. And that's something that Complexity don't have necessarily, because they're in a rebuilding phase with Obo and Def as the IGL, and Ricky was away for a while also. So they've had all these challenges recently and a lot of travel as well. So they are not going to be as resilient as they could be in a mere few weeks. But that's not to say that they can't still get a good performance here. Another important pick by Cold Zero. Obo though will control connector. And that will make life a bit difficult here now for MiBR. I like the nade there. That's beautiful. Oh my god.
Indeed.
Down to 18 HP.
Okay, so maybe there is a chance here for Complexity. Even now, there's still time for recovery. Surviving in numbers important also. Fur and Fallen have a minute, however. We saw them with a flurry of frags in a previous run, which was quite devastating in terms of timing and impact. And maybe they can do the same here. There's only one player on the B-bomb site at present, 2 in A, and Riquet in the window. They don't really know the status. They've got no vision of mid Complexity. No aggressive plays towards A, not clearing the ramp or anything. Def seeing half the information. Will there be a jump peak? See Fur looking for... Oh god, that's going to force his hand, isn't it? That's unfortunate. Not in a good situation anyway, but maybe it might just work out for him. 24 seconds. He needs to focus on getting the bomb plant now. Slight opportunity to get another frag, but he will go for the fake, and they'll start to move in. Ricky will distract, and Obo, of course, will deliver a headshot. Second round on the board for Complexity, and now they've got to get a lot more in this half alone.
It's cool that we're seeing Obo also playing window and connector and so on. It's one of the more high traffic positions on the map, one of the hardest ones to play on the CT side. as you have to deal with many different spots at once. You need a lot of awareness. That was a close one. Almost getting that kill. And look at this setup here. 2 players around Palace, 2 in connector for complexity to play off of.
Can you hear that shouting?
5 versus 3. And complexity back in this one. Stick with the Palace push as well. They got all the info.
I'm not sure if that's a Warden shouting or Jason Lake. I'm sure he's here somewhere. Always been vocal. Great icon in esports. Phelps taking Shazam out, and Obo again may end up being an icon himself, trying to escape the Molotov, but he will be denied. But again, now Complexity know exactly where coldzera is. There's no one on the A bomb site. Sick is top mid for now. Riquet is in the window, holding an angle towards A. In jungle, rather. And that will be a formality. 3 play survive for Complexity, their 2nd round in a row. But there's still so much money for MiBR. 2 players, around $8,000, so the pressure will continue for Complexity to get these consecutive rounds. There's no break just yet, no breathing room. Tactical timeout from MiBR. And this can be, even if there's not too much to discuss, you can see he's talking a lot, but even if there wasn't, just a timeout to kind of to break the momentum, what little there is for Complexity can have psychological value. Psychological warfare, important factor. I remember the days of CSGO alone where people used to be highly offended by knife kills. They just get really mad and upset. Whatever you can do to take your opponent off their game, within the rules, of course. No kicking the power cables, please. 7 rounds for MiBR to the 3 of Complexity. We've got double snipers now for Complexity and 1 for Fallen. 3 on the map altogether, but plenty more scopes, Augs, Kriegs, a lot of it. Plenty of variation in the weaponry.
Def doesn't know what he has in store for him. Fallen waiting, but Shazam's there in the market position with that AWP, and he's traded out Fallen. That's really important. Will slow things down. He's also pushed past the door, but this is very risky. Oh, that's a shot to miss, and Fur is not going to miss himself. That's a 4 versus 3 now. And Sick will come forwards. Fur wins another duel. coldzera on Catwalk as well, or around Catwalk will pick up 1 too. So Complexity can't even make things, they can't make this a coordinated effort. They've been split up into these 1v1s. Obo making his way in from the apartments. And how much work does he have to do on his hands here? So much, way too much to handle, as Phelps will take him down. And MiBR will pick up their 8th rounds. And Complexity, their money is not really there.
That's a devastating round for Complexity. I think MiBR can target an 11-4 scoreline for the time being. Some short-term goals, and now MiBR will have the double ops. 4 sniper rifles on the map, and there's no scouts to be seen. So this will be a very interesting round of Counter-Strike. Now, when there are 2 ops on the T side, it can be very interesting. If they hold angles and the CTs don't go for aggressive spots, then that can really slow down the push and put some awkward timing for a T side. So you've got the cheeky peeks, Shazam going back to the wall, even had the boost from his teammate. It's not safe to hop up on the box there, even at the beginning of a round, but a boost from his teammate won't help him survive. Obo makes sure that Fallen is very, very dead, but there's still a man advantage for MiBR as Riquet moves up top mid.
Yeah, that peek for Shazam seemed very strangely optimistic. Once you know an AWPer is there, as you say, it's really a disadvantageous spot to go back up onto the barrel there. But 3 AWPs for Complexity, why not?
That took so long for him to recognize that somebody was there.
It's, yeah, that was just comedian mode.
It's like the old versions of CS where you could put a spray of a T on the wall or something. That's a lovely flick from Def, and maybe there can be a change of fortunes with this triple AWP setup for Complexity. 45 seconds for Taco. He's waiting for the pick. There it is. Both sides taking tags, but Taco will eventually be eliminated, and now Fur has a lot to do The AK-47 may help, but maybe it won't. Obo with the good angle. The shouting resumes the complexity as they get their 4th round on the board.
What a weird round. This is a weird peek, I got to say, from Shazam. You can see he's crawling across there. He's crouched. But as you can see, you're still visible, even though you're crouched. Because obviously what he's going for there is he wants to stand up and be like, surprise! And make a flick shot, but that's just not going to work there.
He's learned the angle the hard way.
Yeah, they're going to continue with the 3 orbs, which, you know, of course you would. You're not going to throw them away, so don't have that much money.
Scout lands the first shot, of course. So 4 sniperoos, one of which is the Scout on Fallen. He's got a lot of tagging to do. If this team can stay alive, then there may be some easy follow-ups in order. We can see Obo has moved to a safer position. Trivia, this spot, you see the pallets between the bricks? They have gaps in them and you can see through them. So if you're on T-ramp, you can see somebody's feet in a sandwich position, unless they're deep in the corner, which is slightly elevated, and then you will not be able to see them. As you can see, there is a step. So Obo's on the step, so you wouldn't see him. But if you're just standing generally in the sandwich area, then you can see and shoot the feet through the pallet.
The sandwich position can be really impactful, and I like that Obo's there because it is one of those spots where if it's unchecked, you can win the rounds, but if they throw a Molotov, you're going to die anyway. So with his HP as it is, he can't really fight. He's praying that they don't Molotov this. They don't really have the utility to Molotov it, and he belts with one, and there it goes towards default. So Obo could be in a really pivotal position. It's such a hard spot to check. When you're moving around this position, you're checking the site, typically. And Shazam's taking down everybody. Obo is not even required, as Shazam eliminates everybody. And can he get himself the ace? Absolutely, he can. P250 to finish it off. And the complexity make that one look very easy indeed. Shazam very excited by that.
Yeah, they're making a recovery on their CT side. This keeps them in the game. We don't know what to expect from their T side, but they've got to get some more rounds on their CT side. 7 rounds still... There's still potential for 7 rounds from complexity. And they've put MiBR into eco territory. Those bomb plants that were coming so frequently, they've started to slow down. And this may be a gratis round for complexity. Shazam appears to only have a P250 after... Okay. Don't know what was going on there, but... Sick looking under the window. Ooh, got to be careful. Seems to be a very high-risk play from him. Fallen jumping, he'll get slam dunked. Phelps and Cole trying to do what they can. But, I mean, maybe this has a part to play in the next round because the money's not awesome for complexity, so... There's potential for something to be done. Coldster doesn't have the bomb. He's got an AWP, though, and he will get chinned by the likes of Def. And that is 1 round remaining at before half-time. So we'll see how they can spread the wealth complexity. And MiBR coming back in for the buy after the eco. Such a great lead they had, but complexity have won 5 of the last 6 rounds. You're looking to the source of the screaming.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out who's making the noise. Yeah, it's looking like a great recovery so far. And if you think about where the recovery started is those triple orbs. So not too often you're going to see that. So making this competitive now, complexity. Let me get a timeout for this last round of the first half ends. I feel like we haven't seen too many spots where complexity have found the comfort to be able to go aggressive, you know, outside of some of the earlier mid-aggressions, of course. And with the double orbs, perhaps you want to just keep things relatively relaxed. MiBR, what do we have for you? We've got a fast play to top mid. Rick has made the jump across, though, and that's when it really sucks. It's when they play a rush towards middle. That's when you get blown up, when you make that jump across. Obo only good for the 1, and Sick defends a ramp. Critical frag from Sick, all things considered. The timing from Def through the smoke, good for 2 as well. And now it's up to Fallen to lift his team on his shoulders in this 1 versus 2.
Almost, but not quite. 7 rounds for Complexity. Very surprising considering the beginning of that first half. Not about how you start, it's about how you finish. How will they finish? Find out after the break.
It all comes down to this. Complexity and MiBR on map 3 in their face-off to progress here at the ECS 7 season finals at Wembley. And we move to the second half after witnessing a great recovery from Complexity. They had a lot of difficulties getting started, but the way they finished was definitely impressive, and now MiBR are on that CT side. And James, if MiBR pick up a CD pistol, I feel like they could definitely get going, and their momentum could be unstoppable.
We shall soon see. Fallen with a smoke and a defuse. The remainder of MiBR with Kevlar, Def and Rikke with plenty of grenades. No P250s to close down that range, but maybe the flashbangs will help them, 2 of which they have. You can see Fallen, he's holding a smoke actually, maybe expectant of a potential Molotov or just to create some space. It will be the latter. Let's see how this works. Trying to isolate some crossfire, some trade situations, but he'll get taken down from a surprising angle. 5 versus 3, no answers just yet. We've got some poking and prodding through the smoke towards first position. And it looks like a take of CT is expected, but Sig turns around and gets one in the back of the head, but Colzera can't hold the position.
It's looking real good for Complexity at this point. Bomb ticking away as Mark is the last man standing, and he'll stand no longer. Forced to fall by the bullets from Shazam, and 8-8 is the score. And the reality is that Complexity could eliminate MiBR. That's amazing, James.
That is Jason Lake going absolutely bananas
Nice.
downstairs. I'm looking for the white shirt, even though I saw him earlier, but he's got a blue jersey on. It's, again, the black and red of Complexity, now blue. It's all change. Hopefully I'll be going to see their facilities in a few weeks. 8-8. Pistols for MiBR to scout onto Fallen. Let's see how the anti-force buy is for Complexity on a more conventional map. They will start with some position towards top mid, the usual stuff. The Molotov in towards connector. Fer is waiting to get beyond it. We've got Rikke creeping out of Palace, back towards T-spawn. Phelps up close towards a ramp with a CZ75 and a smoke grenade. 2 players on short for MiBR. Expecting some presence towards connector eventually, and I think Fallen's looking to do some damage there. And if he can, then maybe Fer will pop around the corner and try and finish off those players. Molotov to take the angle away from Fallen. So far, so good.
There it is, pushing through connector, sandwiching the A-round players, and coldzera, he's had many deagle kills in this series so far, but not in the best of circumstances. I wonder if that was a headshot actually through the box on Shazam. It did a lot of damage, that one shot. coldzera like an artillery gun with that deagle of his from distance.
You don't want to go cold for that long with a deagle. All right, he's the last man standing now. He's got the UMP, and now he is a goner. Complexity are in the lead. I'm very interested now. After they managed to recover in the first half and get a very reasonable number of rounds on the board, I'm very curious to see what they can do. Jason Lake's really hyping up the team. Every single round they win, he's just screaming down there. coldzera's picked up a 5-7. The remainder's got USPs for now. P250 collected by Taco. Get a kill, pays for itself.
Certainly does. Complexity. Again, a team which hasn't got a lot of preparation. Nice little pop flash robo there to check underpass. But they've got some new blood, and it's been put to good use so far. Obo's having a great performance, I would say, in this series so far. Looking forward just to seeing the stats at the end of this one, seeing how they look. And here comes the push onto the B bomb site, and things are looking pretty clean. Just coldzera left on the A site, so a very well cleaned up rounds indeed. But then MiBR are biding their time until they can get the AWPs out. That's when things will get really interesting.
You know, I think this might be wide open now.
Yeah, absolutely. It
I really
absolutely
do think
is. I think if it's like one of those, this is one of those maps where, you know, if a team gets a really good economy off the bat with the CT side, things can snowball a little bit. But that's not what happened. I think we've got the perfect scenario here for a competitive game.
The perfect storm.
It's exciting as well to see teams like Complexity doing well also and playing good Counter-Strike. It is very exciting. Jason Lake's like, finish it!
This is so awesome because he's like the only voice here, because obviously the crowd come in tomorrow. It's just it's brilliant. I love it. I love it. Very American and awesome. Okay, we've got a 2-round lead. Complexity discussing what is to come, what is to be expected, and how to exploit their opponent. No AWP just yet for MiBR. It's a bunch of scopes, but they're all AUGs with an M4A4 as well. And there is the new man, the new in-game leader, the man who's been very loyal to the Complexity brand. Again, had some big AUGs like Cloud9 try and pick him up, but he has been loyal to the team who got him a P1 visa, which are all too rare in esports at the moment. And there is the man himself, Jason Lake, one of the... He loves it, man. Never short of passion. Rarely seen without a tie on, but I like the jerseys. I like the polos.
Yeah. Might be a faster one here from Complexity if you can see that they've got 2 players in Palace. The bomb's been spotted. The trade's there. Okay. When the bomb gets spotted like that and you get a trade, you're in a great position. It's a 4v4. You can kind of abandon any plan that you originally had, reset the situation. You've got players towards B apartments in middle, so you've got loads of space and time to work with. And
the funny thing is, though, is that you could arguably continue, because the default thing to do there is to abandon your plan A, and your opponent will expect that as well. So there is an argument to sometimes execute your plan A anyway, because it's arguably less likely because you've kind of shown your hand a little bit.
Well, Complexity are going to be cutting noise for quite some time, then going back in for an A play, and they're going to be trying to fake here with Def. So Def's throwing his nade set towards B, trying to pull rotations, trying to keep the B players there for as long as possible. But MiBR knows what's up, and Complexity will get a bomb plant out of this. So The question is if Ferg can throw a wrench into the works, but that is a very nicely timed flash. That shuts down the ability to make a play and buys it. Look at these flashes towards CT. It's buying time to get positioning post-plant, and MiBR give it up. That is crazy. I wonder how much of a difference those flashes made. Because MiBR couldn't attack James. They couldn't attack in that crucially weak, vulnerable period where you're repositioning after getting the bomb down.
Yeah, I think those flashes had a lot to do with it, because I was interested to see how much of the bomb site complexity would give up sort of moving into passive positions, but those flashes were so well timed. As far as MiBR know, they could be a push into CT, they could be looking to take it, so they are forced to fall back and try to hold on to what they have. And there we go, the bomb is detonated. 4 players survive for complexity, 3 for MiBR. MiBR really need Fallen on an AWP. That is very, very important for them. But for now, they will buy around what they have, which of course makes complete sense with 3 people surviving, 3 rounds behind. And because they buy, if they fail now, then the AWP is arguably even further away. And if it comes too late to make a difference, because there's a fair chance it will, then it could be very, very interesting indeed.
So MiBR have presence in Palace. Fallen with a deep enough angle to catch Def, who's actually making his way forwards. Def does not have the weapon to win that fight, and Fallen's going to take it. Phelps has the shadow advantage. And this was just an unexpected aggression here for Complexity. They had no idea this was coming, and they've suffered greatly. What do they do at this point? You can't really push through that smoke. This is a horrible spot where you kind of have to just give it up, reset this position. Maybe start to take middle, try to set yourself up in other ways. But regardless, you have to cut noise for a while. That's something that you need to be able to do in this spot. They've left Oboe there. Nobo can lurk A ramp, and as his teammates get closer to connector or catwalk, Oboe can start to try to make a play here. And we got the lurk smoke. This is a good one to learn, actually. There it is. Now they're coming up to catwalk. Perhaps Oboe can be unleashed. And Oboe now starts to make noise.
First got a lot of down cues though from his position. He heard Shazam scoping, and then Shazam goes down for free. 2 versus 5. This was a key round for Complexity. Again, no AWP, which is now likely to be collected. They know where Oboe is. They hear the reload, looking for the transfer, not quite getting there. And whilst it's in the window, don't know what he can really do with this. You can see that Cold Zero is holding an angle from CT spawn, so it seems that the damage will be limited. Will the AWP be rescued, though? No one really in position to go at the moment. I don't know if they're going to make it there. Got a Fallen trying to make his way, but not quite getting there. There's plenty of money for Complexity. And there is the AWP dropped. A timeout for Complexity. They have 1 remaining after this one. But now Fallen's got that upgrade. We may see a more aggressive MiBR.
Yeah, and with that said, I mean, we're already seeing some aggressions from them. We had, in that previous round, the first 2 kills made by Fallen going aggressive in Palace. We had Phelps going aggressive, standing on the urn, on the A ramp, getting the shadow advantage. And the reason why you can definitely tell that was very unexpected is because people know that position is so strong that you often try to jiggle with the shadow. So you try to bait out a shot. And that's like a way you can kind of silently check that position sometimes by jiggling with the shadow. But that's if you expect there to be someone there. So obviously it was the case that Complexity really had no idea that it was possible. And they're going for a fast take of top mid. They've got Def there looking for the pick. AWP in hand. Rikke in the Palace pushing quite quickly, actually. Okay, Rikke's in position. Oh, is he just going to go for a raw peek? Fallen, oh my god, Fallen's looking for it. Can you believe it? Looks like MiBR have a decent read on the situation.
Early man advantage for the Brazilians. Always good for them. Really quiet round from Complexity. Quite slow, measured rounds. And it seems an execute is in order, but how solid will Taco's position be? 2 of the 5 players towards the B-bomb site as a crossfire. Taco is continuing to be a problem. They're lining up, they're stuck in the choke point, and they get absolutely decimated. Shazam now 1 versus 5, takes Taco out, but that was beautiful positioning by MiBR, and it crushed Complexity entirely, utterly. And now the money gets ropey for Complexity.
I think MiBR kind of shown at this point, you can't really just set up a set piece. You can't just go into that. You can't try to surprise them with a contact play. I think at this point, MiBR have defended very well against most styles we've seen from Complexity. Even though it's just been 2 rounds, they've shot both of those plays down pretty effectively, and MiBR have not been going too aggressive. So they may be encouraging Complexity to play more default, Counter-Strike, go back to the mid takes, leave someone A ramp, leave someone B apartments. Once you take mids, get someone into ladder room, get someone into connector, potentially. We'll see how Complexity decides to deal with things.
Smoke has missed. You can see Kenny S throws that smoke as well. Good as demos. You can see how it's supposed to land. Running jump throw quite close to triple to smoke off the Palace position, but it doesn't seem to be doing too much harm. Oboe with the Desert Eagle tagging, and there'll be a follow-up from Def, who's not smoked off, so maybe it will have an impact. Oh, that's a beautiful one. 3 kills, that is great for Complexity. Only 2 players surviving for MiBR. That's about $18,000 to $20,000 of damage. The AWP taken away as well is very, very key. Fallen's got $10,000, but he's going to have to spend a whole lot of that. So that may have a part to play in the rounds to come for Complexity, but they've got to find some success. It's been 3 rounds in a row now for MiBR, and they've been relatively comfortable. Yeah,
it definitely. They have looked pretty good despite losing the pistol and so on their CT sides. So it's up to Complexity now to make an argument, a convincing argument. And right now, Complexity is searching for a consistent approach against MiBR. And this is kind of more of a default approach that I wanted to see, where we see this middle take coming in, underpass, top mid. They're not going to leave anyone in B apps, but that's fine if they've left Ricky towards A ramp. So ultimately, they're set up in a variety of ways. With these positions, one of the objectives is to take window or connector or ladder room, or all of them if you're really gangster, and then try to make a play off of that.
It's a big frag for Sick. Again, very, very slow rounds here on Mirage. So quiet. Big flashbang, almost walking into the bullet. Second player rotating towards CT of A. But the bomb is very far away at the moment. 35 seconds on the clock. And it's the raw peaks now. Complexity creeping in. I think only 1 player is being detected, so this could be a nasty surprise. Cold, I thought he had that one for free. There's a trade from Phelps, some information for Complexity. Maybe they can play off that, but they've got no more grenades. They've got to clear CT. There's 20 seconds on the clock. Ricky gets taken down towards triple. There's a trade for Sick. Now the bomb is known, and there's a crossfire. There's nowhere safe to plant the bomb, surely. If Taka goes for a deep pick, the bomb is just about planted. There's a trade for Def. He has the information, but against Fallen with an AWP, this may be a hard task. He's picked up a defuse kit, Fallen, touching the bomb. There is the jiggle from Def, but he goes straight back into it, and Fallen's there to deliver the headshot. That is a huge round for MiBR.
Yeah, what a pickup. Beautiful work from them. 4 in a row now on their CT side, and they'll take the lead. And as you say, this was a very slow round. Great shot from Shazam there. The trade, though, for Phelps, good as well. But it's still really difficult to predict this one. I still feel like that approach from Complexity was pretty effective.
Mocking all the shouting now. Where is your shouting now? Maybe not so loud. Complexity able to buy again. They've got 2 players with grenades, 2 of the 5. This will be a rough pass though, a tall order, a flashbang. Ferg gets traded very quickly. Much fast-moving pace now. MiBR maybe trying to take the game away from Complexity, make them uncomfortable, try and make the momentum concrete for the Brazilian side. 6 working off the top of connector, minute and a half on the clock. We've got Shazam lurking towards Palace. 3 players in connector. That is not the best smoke, but there's nobody there by the stairs.
I kind of like how that smoke's a bit deeper. It makes it easier to actually exit connector with your team. The trades though here, Phelps. Oh, he can't get the follow-up. Shazam. That was such an important second kill. And now Obo and Shazam against coldzera and Taco. But they've got to get the bomb down, and there's no cover to do so, really. Can they make it happen? coldzera, the white peak. Shazam defends again. 3 kills from Shazam. What a round from him. Taco now in the clutch with an AUG. And Complexity going to play the trade game. Force Taco pretty deep. Okay. That's a bit scary. Going for the hold. Oh, coming off a bit with the nade, and Obo finishes it off. 12-12. Key round won by Complexity to keep themselves in this one. And the money for MiBR is not there, James.
Yeah, this is interesting territory. 12-12. And the megaphone of Jason Lake has resumed. And it's MiBR who are quiet again. And the mocking makes me feel like it's getting to them. Just one voice in the arena screaming at them. It's really amusing to me. It's awesome. Complexity move top mid with 4 players, and Obo makes his way, but there's a flank for Obo. Fur is creeping, he's crab walking with the CZ, but the spray will deliver. Obo taking minimal damage. He's got 24 kills for the moment, so he continues to be consistent for Complexity in that regard. And then he looked to split the B bomb site, but coldzera is going to be a problem. He's got no Kevlar though, so aim punch is an issue, but he's got a USP for Fallen flying through. Now an AK's being collected, and everything will change. Fallen delivering, Shazam trading, but again, coldzera with the deagle. They know he's on the site, he's buying time, he's got 2 players on the high ground. This could get real bad for Complexity.
Shazam will whiff one of the opportunities there. And oh, thank God Def comes in to take down coldzera. But there's 2 players in the apartments that you mentioned, and Shazam will finally work out that there's one there, but he has no idea what the second is. He'll try to post up with that AWP, but still worried about Catwalk. The bomb will be collected, and Def will run towards the A bomb site. But an orb can be collected. He's stuck on a UMP. AKs are there as well, so they can have whatever the hell they want. Def needs to take a position which is close to medium range against where he expects to get peaked. Oh, this is so tense.
They have a Molotov and a HE grenade.
Oh no.
They have no Kevlar. He's got a relatively slow fire rate with the UMP. There are a lot of factors which could help determine which way this one goes. He's got to crouch, otherwise they'll see him. Taco jumping around looking for the information. There's the first frag. He has no idea where Phelps is, I don't think. Phelps starting to move now. There's no defuse kit, so Def can buy some extra time. And now surely there's no time. Oh, has he waited long enough? I think he has. You can see Phelps moving away, so there is the round for Complexity. They move to 13.
Wow, they had no idea where he was. It's not like the UMP is silenced or anything. That's kind of surprising. Either way, important rounds won by Complexity. Just clutched it out there. Very well played by Def. And that was a bit too close for comfort, though. And they need every single round. Like, both teams... Well, this round is kind of crazy impactful. You got Complexity in a spot where they win this one, MiBR don't have any money to buy. And so that effectively gets Complexity on 15, most likely. But same for MiBR. Complexity are also broke. They're feeling it. MiBR have a second sense. They know what's happening. Fallen gets a pick, a preemptive pick. Another one coming out as Def drops from the apartments. Fallen doing so much damage.
Battle Sniper Fallen has arrived, and maybe just in time for MiBR, but it is 3 versus 3, so perhaps not. He's been taken out. No grenades for Complexity. They've got time. The bomb plant pressure isn't there just yet. They need to eliminate more players. Otherwise, there's no way this is happening. You can see Taco on a fast flank. They know no grenades are up. Fur will put a smoke down to create some space. Run distraction. Trying to invite the Complexity team to move behind it. And Taco gets into a stronger and stronger position. There is a minute on the clock, but he could really crush this round with some good timing. No one's going to be looking at Palace. Surely Sick in Sandwich gets dropped. That's the bomb on the floor. That compounds the problems for Complexity. Ricky now on 4 HP gets wrecked. 3 players survive for MiBR, and the score is tied once again.
Yeah, you can see that Sick in that position. He was in Sandwich. He had the perfect spot to deal with Palace. but he had to also, well, he was also looking at a ramp. And I was about to say he also had to look at a ramp. I don't know if he had to, but that's what he was doing. So that was what did him in. And as mentioned, such an impactful round for MiBR to pick up. Full save coming in for Complexity. MiBR should be good to move to 14 rounds. No problems asked. No problems asked. No problems had. No questions asked. Oh my god, this is such a tense one. If Complexity win this match, it would be so monumental, so surprising.
Flashbang over the top to allow Fer to peek. Checks the little platform first. There's a smoke grenade. Is this one of those one-ways?
Yep.
Looks like it might be, but it's some pre-fire. The T side are aware. Why else would a CT smoke the window? But that may keep them distracted for the time being, and Fallen will maybe make use of that, taking Oboe out. Shazam rotating his mini AWP, his deal towards the A-bomb site. Complexity, I think at this point it is a question of just trying to get a frag, even one will do. The money is still low for both of these teams. Complexity heading towards a buy. MiBR heading towards the lead.
So difficult to get anything done here. Shazam will get gunned down, Sick will get gunned down, and Def will likely follow. There we go. 14-13, MiBR. Clean sweep for them in that round. They just have to do it 2 more times, and this nightmare comes to a close. And they can perhaps silence Jason Lake. Or maybe they can't. Maybe he'll never be silenced.
No one can do that.
Yeah.
Still focused. It's pretty damn close. The buy is coming out for Complexity. Some discussion as to what they want to do. Now, how aggressive will MiBR be? As good as the recent rounds have been for them, 6 of the last 8 for MiBR. Their money's not fantastic. Does that limit how aggressive they choose to be? Do they ignore that and play the game they want to? They'll play with confidence, I'm sure, as they always do. 2 scopes for Phelps and Cold. The Orcs. First got himself an AK-47. Now, what will Complexity do? It looks like it might be a fast one towards the A-bomb site. We've got 4 of the 5 players heading in that direction. They'll set up some smokes towards mid to try and pull people out of position. Fer and Cold are going for a mid push, leaving Drops alone on the A-bomb site. Def gets taken out, but Phelps will get taken out on the A-bomb site. They don't have position, but they've done heavy damage. Obo and Ricky are so low. Bob's getting planted, but there's so much position. MiBR, how far can they really go for this? Sick with a huge frag in CT spawn. Cold and Taco remain. Will they commit to trying to take this round back?
Their HP is so low, though. All these players can die to one single bullet anywhere. And Cold and Taco will slowly encroach upon this bomb site. Now just down to Taco. Shazam gets another headshot. Shazam with a great performance in this round. Key frags from him as Ricky delivers one as well. And that'll be 14-14. And MiBR will have to spend every last penny in their bank. Phelps is pretty poor, actually. So is Cold Zero. So this is not the best situation in the world for them. We've got 2 MAC-10s coming into the hands of Complexity as well. This one is going all the way down to the wire, as I am really looking forward to seeing what strategy is the choice of... Oh, they're going to go for a B-rush. Oh, my days. Are they going for a B-rush, James? They're actually doing it. They are. Oh, my God.
Oh, there's so many sound cues. If it goes bad, it's going to look disastrous. The grenade does minimal damage. The flashbang while they come in. Oh, and there it is. That's a deletion. What do MiBR do in this spot? If they commit everything to this, they'll have absolutely nothing left. They don't really have position. They've got nobody in the market.
They got to give it up, man. They got to give it up.
They're moving away. Fallen and Fer are moving back towards the A site, as well as Phelps. They had to escape. They had to run away. If they lose everything there, they lose everything, including the series, surely. So they've got to fall back and hold on. Complexity are moving to match point versus MiBR. This is absolutely bananas. The way it started on Train, the way it continued on Vertigo, and here we are with Mirage. You've got to have MiBR as a heavy favorite, but right now they're about to be an underdog.
I just love the balls to call for a B rush in a round like this. Yeah, that's just buffs, some Mac 10s, rush B. Works. It actually works. I can't believe it. I thought that they were done for. You know, when Def jumps through the window, gets eliminated, and there's like no one else through the window to trade for him, I'm like, okay, this is not looking good. But they managed to make it work. And indeed, Complexity, they will be in a fantastic position now because MiBR, I see 2 MP9s right now. I see 2 MP9s, an M4, an AWP, and MiBR have taken a tactical as well. I don't know what Taco is going to get. It's got to be something on the ground for him, but at the moment he's holding a USP. One round, James. One more round, and Complexity could eliminate MiBR. Would you believe it?
I wouldn't.
Like, who would have anticipated that we could be in a position like this? You know, so many people were saying how much they are looking forward to seeing MiBR play because they're fresh, they've had time to relax, they've been playing better. But here we are, Complexity, new look Complexity, looking dangerous.
3 MP9s on Mirage. Are they going to do exactly the same thing?
Oh my God.
This is probably the last thing that you expect. We've got 3 players very deep into the A bomb site, so rotation is very far away. But Fallen's here with the AWP battle sniper. This is what he's built for. There's a smoke in the middle of the site, but he can't see anything just yet. And they're spreading everywhere. They're swarming. There are so many Ts. Cold Zero's on his own now. Fallen's been picked off. He's just standing there with the MP9. They have no idea what's going on. There are still 3 MiBR players on the A bomb site. They're still only now rotating. They're looking for flankers. This is a disaster for them. Moving into the market position, we've got smokes down on the window. How on earth can they possibly do this?
Oh, Faust is going to creep through the smoke. I actually think he's been undetected. He's managed to... Okay, well, eventually he'll be discovered. There's just so many players alive covering every single possible angle. We're already got the hugs here. They know that it's over. And boom!